We are ready to start our paths exercise using the pen tool. Here's my pen tool. I'm in the Essentials workspace. I have the template layer locked. I have a new layer that is not locked, and I changed the color for that layer to medium blue so that I wouldn't be confused by blue and red lines on the drawing layers. Okay, it's a good idea to work in close on these things if you want to do accurate work. Might be possible. I'm going to close this palette. Might be possible to get, and I can close this one. It might be, I'd not close it, but minimize it. Actually, what I'll do is I'll tear off the pen tool. So there's my pen tool, and then I may just pull this off to the side. We don't need to see that. Okay, I want plenty of working room. I'm going to use my mouse wheel to move this down just a little bit, or I could use my space bar on my keyboard to get a hand, which allows me to move my artwork. And we'll talk about that again later, because you can actually move it in the middle of doing something with the pen tool. Okay, I have Smart Guides turned on by default. View Smart Guides, and what Smart Guides does is it tells you where you are relative to other things, and can help you find, like this, it knows there's an anchor point there, so if I want to put my anchor point there, that's a good place to put it. Now, I didn't click and drag, it just clicked and let go. I'm going to undo that. What you want to do with the pen tool if you're drawing Bezier curves is click, hold the mouse button down, drag. I'm going to hold the shift key so it goes straight up. And I know from experience, and I may not be exactly right, but from experience I know I need to go up about this far if I want to try to replicate a perfect half circle. I'm going to let go of everything, and my pen tool is going to lead the curve over to here. It's going to show me where the middle of the spot is where I want to put the next anchor point. I'm going to click and hold and drag straight down, hold the shift key, and here you see I've slid out of view, but it looks like it matches pretty good. I'm going to let go of everything. I'm going to hit the escape key to end that path, hold the shift key to get my hand, and not the shift key, the space bar. I'm sorry, did I say shift key before? It's the space bar. Hold the space bar to get the hand and pull this down. And you can see I match pretty good there. I'm going to take my magnifying glass. I'm going to zoom in real close on this, and I see I missed a little bit. I'm going to move this over to where I can easily grab the center of the curve with the direct select tool. And I could just hold the shift key to make sure I don't go left or right with it, like, you know, if I go that way. Holding the shift key to constrain and bring this down just a little bit, and actually snaps to where it knows that other path is on the other layer. So this is a fairly simple exercise. So that's one. That's a perfect half circle that perfectly matches the original template. It uses only 2 anchor points, and it consists of one path segment. I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute and show you things not to do. Don't take the paintbrush and try to paint, and you can see that's kind of a problem there because the paintbrush I'm using is too big anyway, but this makes lots of anchor points. The more anchor points you use, the harder it is to get a smooth curve. You'd have to like go back and I got to adjust this one and I got to adjust that one. You have to adjust all these anchor points, and it drive you nuts. So less anchor points, smoother curves. If I tried the pencil tool, I'll take the pencil tool, and I'd have to just get into the classic mode for a second here and see this is a 1-point pencil, so that's fine. Go back into Essentials because I don't need all that other stuff showing. And so I could try to precisely draw with my mouse with the pencil, and you can see I'm not that good at drawing smooth curves with my mouse. And look how many anchor points I have. So again, this is not the way to try to do this. You could take the pen tool and kind of click and click and click and click and click and keep clicking until you get to the other side. But these are all little flat line segments. It's not a smooth curve, and when you miss, it looks even worse. I could like click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, but I'm still not going to end up with as smooth a path as if I just have two anchor points with the control handles absolutely perpendicular or tangent to the circle and of equal length, because that's how you get a perfect half circle. So I'm going to delete that because that's terrible. And I'm going to drag this back down to where it belongs. And again, my smart guides tell me when I'm lined up with that. Okay, I'm going to back out a little bit. Command minus on my keyboard. Command 0 gives me the full page. Command plus, I can zoom in. Command minus, I can zoom out. Or I can, with my magnifying glass, select the area that I want to focus on. Now, I have something called scrubby zoom turned off, or animated zoom. I find animated zoom a little bit annoying because it didn't used to be around when I learned how to do this. So I've gotten used to, if I want to look at this part, I drag a square with my magnifying glass and I look at that part. If you want to change from scrubby zoom, if you like scrubby zoom, fine. If you don't and you want to change it, on the PC it's under edit in the preferences pull down, under preferences in the edit pull down. I believe on the Mac it's under file to find preferences, and I usually forget where this is. It might be under general. Let's see, is that under general? No, it's under performance animated zoom. So if I turn that on, you can see this is what happens when I zoom. I got to pick where I'm going to start and it'll drag in on it. But like I said, too many years for me of doing it. Again, preferences, performance, turn that off. For me, it's too many years of deciding I want to see this, I'm going to zoom in on it. So that's why I have mine set up that way. So this is the next path we're going to work on. Again, I can move this off to the side. It's just a distraction. And taking my pen tool, I'm going to click right in the middle of that and just go up a little bit, Command plus. Make sure I am in the center, and look, it says it's the center. I'm going to click and drag straight up, hold the shift key to make sure I'm going straight up, and I want to get about that same distance I had before, which is kind of hard to judge, but we'll try about there. And then find the center of this one, click and drag straight down, and those are pretty close. And then go over to the next one, the third square, find the center, shift, click and drag straight up. Now I see a little bit of a problem here that I'm not quite centered on something, but I'll go back and fix that. So this needs to be where that anchor is, where it says anchor ought to get me there. I'm going to make this the same size as the other one, although it obviously isn't correct. And you'll notice that I am doing this with no fill. I have a black stroke, 1 point black stroke, which is the same width as the stroke on the red template, but I do not have a fill because a fill will cover up the template and I won't be able to see whether or not I'm matching it. Let's try about there and about there. Okay, now what do I do about where I missed? Well, I'm going to go back to my direct select tool and hold the shift to constrain and drag that straight down. This one, I think I'm going to have to come in and take a closer look at this and see why I'm not actually in the middle there, I guess. Am I? Again, direct select tool. Well, it should be about right. So I guess probably I got this one a little too long. I'll hold the shift key to constrain to make sure that I don't change the angle, and try to get that visually even, and then grab the center, hold the shift key, and just pull it straight up to get that to match. With a lot of practice, and I'm talking like thousands of repetitions, you probably get good enough that you would just get this to fit the way it's supposed to on the first try. I haven't done enough thousands of repetitions, I guess, because I'm still not doing it quite perfect, but I can adjust it because the tools are there for adjusting. So I made these equal in length, so it looks like I've got about equal red showing on the bottom. Find the center of the path, hold the shift key, actually start dragging first, hold the shift key to constrain so I make sure I don't move it left or right, and get it down to the center of that path. That one's pretty good. This one's off a little. This handle's too long, so I'll go up a little on that one. Just going to get that even, and maybe down a little on this one. That's pretty close. I almost think I see red there, but it's so subtle that I would give myself a good grade on that. So if you have it so that you just barely maybe have a little bit of red showing, if I magnify it about 1200% and there's a little red showing there, that's okay. If there's a lot of red showing and it's really obvious, that's not so good, and you should probably do it over or find a way to adjust it. This one here, probably this one, is a little short. Hold the shift key, and again, this is with the direct select tool. Drag that straight up until it looks even on both sides, and then grab the center of the curve, hold the shift key, and bring it back down to snap it to the template. So that was fairly easy. The next one's a little trickier, and we're going to add to our process the use of a key. For path C, we're going to start the same way, where we find the middle of this black square. It says center. I hope that's right. Click and oops, I didn't click before I dragged. You got to make sure you click and hold the mouse button down and then drag, and it was about that far. Click and drag here. Well, I guess I went too far, but I'll get it even. And I'm actually going to show you two keys here. I usually just do one key, which is the Alt key, which allows you to change direction. But since I'm already off to a bad start on this path, I think I'm going to hold the Control key, and that gives me the last selection tool that I use, the Direct Select tool. Grab that and pull it down. And it looks like I might have gone a little sideways on this, so I'm going to hold that, the Option key and the Shift key, and get those straight. And it's a little long. Okay. Now, when I let go of the Option and Shift key, I'm still on the pen tool. Next thing I want to do, and that's Option on the PC, excuse me, Option on the Macintosh operating system. It's Alt on the PC. In order to get this to go the other direction after this anchor point, I'm going to hold the Alt key only, and that gives me the anchor point tool. And then I'll grab that handle, hold the Shift key to get it to constrain to 90 degrees and get it to match the other handle. Let go of both, come over to the next center of the next black square, hold the Shift key to go straight down, hopefully the right amount. I see a little red showing there, so I'm not doing this exactly perfect, but you know, I only do this once a semester, so this is pretty good for not doing it since last semester. I do a lot of drawing with the pen tool for projects, but I don't try to replicate this particular set of paths every day. So forgive me if I'm a little out of shape on this. So again, hold the Alt key to get the anchor point tool. They used to call this the, what was it? It had a complicated name like the direction control handle selector tool or something like that. Anchor point tool is a lot simpler, but it had some other name describing that it was for grabbing the handle and doing this or pulling handles out. So again, Alt key gives me that while I'm still in the pen tool, and Shift constrains it to either 45 or 90 degrees in any direction, and match it to the other one, let go. Now, unfortunately, in my demonstrations there, I somehow managed to end my stroke, but if I just click right on that one and start drawing again, which I wouldn't want to do that with a straight line, if I click right on it, it will actually connect to the existing stroke. You probably won't be trying to explain this to somebody and explaining other things as you go, so you can do this as a continuous process and hopefully just draw the 5 segments as one continuous path. I'm going to hold the Shift key to constrain, so I go back up here, jump over to here, find the center, and hold the Shift key and go straight down. Hold the Alt key and grab that handle, hold the Shift key at the same time and go straight up and match the other handle. Find the center of the next one, drag straight down, hold the Shift key to constrain to 90 degrees, minus 90 degrees. Try to match the curve, let go of that, oops, yeah, let go of that, and it moved. Let go of that, hold the Alt key and grab that handle, hold the Shift key at the same time so that you can go straight up and match the other one, and then go to that last anchor point, hold the Shift key and go straight down, and I'll let go. And I've got some touching up to do. I'm going to go to my direct select tool. Actually, I'll zoom in on this to see just how badly I've screwed this up. It could be I've got to make this handle a little longer here, this handle a little shorter here. So I'm clicking on the handle and then holding the Shift key to constrain to make sure I'm going straight up and down and try to get it to match that original curve. This one down a little bit, and if that looks about even, I can grab the center of the path, hold the Shift key, and bring that up to where it, bring that up to where it covers the red line. This one's just a little bit high. Do that. I don't know if I can do that. Okay, this segment here should be about there. I'm not sure they're even. I'll try pulling this up just a little bit. That's too much. Okay. Let's try pulling on the path again, holding the Shift key to make sure I pull it straight. You don't want to pull it sideways. You want to pull it straight up. So I'm holding the Shift key. And that's pretty good. I see a little bit of red showing there, but again, I wouldn't take any points off for such a thin sliver of red. This one here, if someone was paying you $1,000 to work on some logo or something that had to be absolutely perfect because it would last the company for 100 years, then you'd probably spend more time making this exactly perfect. But for this exercise, a sliver of red showing like that is permissible. I'll just try to get this one a little better. Not getting there. That's pretty good. And the final one, I'll try just pulling on this. No, missed. Okay. About there, maybe this handle a little bit longer. And that one a little bit shorter. Okay. The more you do this, the better you get at it. Some say that like in sports or baseball, football, basketball, acrobatics, music, learning to play the piano or the violin, or other endeavors. You have to repeat something about 10,000 times to be really proficient at it. I don't expect that you're going to draw 10,000 paths or 10,000 anchor points this semester. But if you can do this exercise a couple of dozen or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 100 times, you will get more proficient with the pen tool. Okay, D. D is a lot like B and C, except that it has some straight line segments in it. So we're going to start with the first, that's a pencil tool, pen tool. We're going to start in the center of the first one here. Pull the handle straight up, holding the shift key to constrain. Get that about the right length, and I'm still not sure that I have the right length, but I can adjust that. Hold the shift key, and yeah, that's like way too long. What was I thinking? Okay, I'm going to use the control key again to pull this down to where it's supposed to be. And I'll hold the Alt key and the Shift key to make sure that I have these straight, because it looks like I just moved it. Oops. Okay, and let's do one other little thing here. I've got my rulers turned on. That's Command R turns off rulers, and Command R turns on the rulers. Or you probably find it in view here somewhere, something about rulers. Yep, there it is. But I use keyboard shortcuts whenever possible. I like to save time, and if I know the keyboard shortcuts, it's a lot faster than finding things in pull downs. And a lot of them are mnemonic, like R, ruler, so Command R. Open document, Command O, open. Anyway, I've got a ruler here. If I drag a guideline and get it to match up with these handles, and it looks like they actually aren't the same length, so that might be important. I'm gonna lock the guide. Lock guides. Okay. So that way, when I try to, again, holding the shift key to constrain, try to snap these guidelines to, snap these handles to the guidelines, and I'm going to unlock that guide. And I think I'm going to have to move it up just a little. Again, direct select tool, hold the shift key to constrain, and I'm going to pull this straight up and then readjust that guide. Let's try about there. It's about there, pretty close to there. Okay, what that will do for me is when I draw this, and I may just start over. I'm going to delete this and take my pen tool again, and actually again I'm going to right click here and lock guides, or you can find that in the view pull down. Let's see, let's make this a little bigger. Pen tool, click in the center, hold the shift key, come straight up to the guideline. Click in the center, pull straight down to the guideline, and that matches pretty good. I'm going to hold the Alt key and take this handle and hold the shift key and constrain this to horizontal, and that's going to give me a straight line. I'm going to click over here in the center of that, hold the shift key and come straight out some, and then hold the Alt key to get my anchor point tool, grab the handle, hold the shift key to pull it straight down, and hopefully get it the right length to match what I did on the top. I'm going to hold my space bar to get the hand, move the artwork over. Notice I'm still in my pen tool, and find the center of this. Click, hold the shift key, and it should have been here probably, but it's not. I'll leave it there and just adjust the curve, because then at least I know it's something sort of even there. And then Alt to get the Alt or Option on the Macintosh. Grab the handle with the direction control. Grab the direction control handle with the anchor point tool. Hold the Shift key at the same time to constrain that to horizontal. Let go. Click in the middle of this next one. Center. Click. And drag straight out, holding the Shift key to constrain to horizontal. Hold the Alt key and bring this handle, Alt or Option key on the Mac. Bring this straight up to the guideline. Let go, and again I'll take my spacebar hand and move this over. Click in this last square and pull it straight down and match that handle to the guideline. Let go, hit the Escape key to finish drawing, and I just have to go back to here and with my Direct Select tool grab this path at the center, hold the Shift key to constrain, and pull it straight down to match the other one. So there you have it. 5 perfect or real close to perfect paths composed of perfect half circles and a couple of straight line segments. Each one is a single path. Path A has one path, 2 anchor points. Part B is a path that has 5 segments with 6 anchor points, and C and D are also 5 sections with 6 anchor points. And that's how you do it. And you have learned layers, and you have learned the Direct Select tool and the Main Selection tool and the Pen tool and the Anchor Point tool to change direction, the Control tool to change to the Direct Select tool while you are using the Pen tool without ending your path, and the Alt key to change the direction of your handles using the Anchor Point tool, again without ending your path. You let go of those keys and you go right back to the Pen tool and continue your drawing. And that concludes 1A, Paths.